Hello and welcome. Now in this video I'm going to continue to work through some of the questions that I got in the survey. And before I go back to pick it up from where we left off yesterday, one of the things I want to talk about is a new question that I saw here. And it asks something that I think is a very common one when you're just starting out in internet marketing. And it is, how do you request to be an affiliate and get approved when you have a beginner reputation? Or how do you actually make sales when you're starting out without having to compromise your reputation by promoting bad products? And that's really a great question. And so one of the things that I would suggest that you do is, I'm actually going to give you two suggestions here. And I'm going to suggest that first, that you buy the product, right? And that's probably the best thing that you can do in order to even begin to start out the relationship. Now, it doesn't have to be the product. It can be a product from the person that you want to promote. And so what this does on a practical level is, one thing, you then have contact information. So you then have an email address or even a support desk where you know that someone's going to get back to you who is connected with the product creator you want to promote. So I'd say that that's the first thing. And so if your budget is limited, find the lowest price product that you can, or even find the product that you really do want to promote, because you really do want to know that product anyway. The second thing is, once you've done this, right, then you reach out using the contact information that you got here, right? So again, use the support desk, use the contact information. Again, I know that it's really popular to maybe reach out to people on social media. I don't like to do that, and I'm not necessarily one that I like to receive messages from people that I don't know, even as a product creator. So I don't know if everybody likes to do that. I'm not going to suggest that you reach out to using social media, and it's mainly because it's really easy, and so everybody does it. And so you can expect that if you're putting in a message in somebody's inbox, they're probably getting tons of messages in the inbox, even if you're already friends with the person, right? Because these days it's really easy to accept someone's friendship on Facebook and LinkedIn and all these places, and Twitter. So it's no indication as to whether or not that person really wants a relationship with you. So I'm going to say reach out to them, but start at the very least by using the contact information that you got when you bought one of their products or the product. And then, one thing that you can do is you can then create a product for bonuses, right? And so you can create a product to put on their download page for that product. And again, that person might say no, right? They might say, well, no, I don't really need any products on my download page, but and it won't be a lost effort even if you do that. Let's say that you do that. Create a product for a bonus to put on their download page. They say, nah, I don't really want that product on my download page. You can then use that product as a bonus to promote the product anyway, right? So you can still use that product, and if you can't use it for that, you can always go and sell it. So that's another thing. And then last thing is, I don't have it listed here, but I'm going to write it in here anyway. One other thing you can do is just do a video testimonial, right? And of course you can do a testimonial, but I'm going to say if you really want to make this happen, you want to make it happen fast, I would just go ahead and do a video testimonial of this product. You bought this product, and if you think well enough of it to promote it, then go ahead and do a video testimonial, right? You bought one of their products. You think that they are a reputable marketer. You think that they put out great products. You think that that this product that you bought was certainly dynamic. Once again, this is not a wasted effort. Why? Because if you get the opportunity to promote the product you're trying to get, you're going to be able to use your own video testimonial again as a personal appeal for people to buy it based on your experience. So that is how I would answer this question, which is tips on how affiliate requests can be handled if you don't have the experience to start it. Now let's go back to the second part of the question that we talked about yesterday, and that is, how do I make PLR my own by adding things that apply to my niche and my audience, which is a great question. Now, what I would do, yesterday, check out yesterday's video, because this is where I talked about basically you want to find the problems in your niche, and you want to do the research to find out what those problems are, and then you want to come up with the solution. Now, I didn't really talk about finding the solution. Maybe we can talk about that tomorrow and adding that to really make your PLR your own. But basically, you want to take your PLR, use it as the basic information, and then really sell your solution to the problem, right? And so all the PLR does is it really bulks up your product, because you're not assuming that everybody knows the basics, right? And that's typically what happens in products. You have somebody who does focus on solving that problem, but then you have people who don't understand the basics. And so what the PLR does is it allows people to get the basics, and it allows people to get that, that solution that you're providing, right? So you want to do that problem-based research and find out what the problems are in the niche. The other thing that you can do, and I've done this, is to add expert interviews. And I've heard that interview products all by themselves, that they've kind of died out, and that could be true, right? That there is some truth in that. But as an addition to the PLR, I think it's fantastic, and it is something that you can actually do to really make your PLR unique. I mean, the more known that the person can be, the better. If you're working outside the internet marketing niche, I got to think that this works phenomenally. Now, I haven't done a lot of products outside of the niche, but I know that I've done expert interviews, and I've actually added them to PLR products that I've sold. Again, fantastic idea. You can talk to people at Harrow. Now, Harrow has some pretty strict rules, or help a reporter out. And there are other sites like that, and I've done some videos on that. You can check them out on my channel. Case studies. So these don't have to be your case studies. You can do the research, right? You can do some internet research for this, right? Do some internet research. Now, any PLR worth its salt, it's going to have case studies in there, but you can actually make it your own by finding your own case studies and making sure that those case studies are really tied to not just a basic explanation, but make sure the case studies are tied to the problem you're trying to solve, right? And then of course, getting results of your own, right? That really does personalize a PLR. And then what the PLR does is, again, it brings people up to speed. So you don't have to rewrite. For example, let's say that you're doing you're doing a product, and you're doing the product on getting traffic. Well, there are going to be some people who don't know how to get a domain name. They don't know how to set up a WordPress site. They don't know how to connect their domain to hosting. Well, you get PLR for that, right? So you get the PLR to explain all the basics. You don't need to do all. Don't focus your time creating products on stuff that is elementary. That's what you get the PLR for. And then you give that to people so that they don't feel cheated, like, well, I couldn't understand even how to start this. Well, you give them that, right? And then lastly, you can add additional original content. So whatever the PLR is, if it's a video, if it is an ebook. Now, of course, the problem then becomes that the PLR is not done in your voice, right? It's not the videos aren't done by you, so adding a video is just going to look kind of weird. I always suggest you redo videos, even though it's a pain in the rear end, right? If you want to make PLR your own, I suggest you redo it. But let's say that you did not want to redo videos. You didn't want to redo audio. So how do you add additional original content? Well, one of the things that you can do is you can add things like checklists and mind maps, right? So checklists, and sometimes that stuff's going to come with the PLR, but you can always add checklists, mind maps, and if you think, well, that's really kind of basic, well, yes and no, right? You do your checklist and mind map. You can do a checklist based on the interviews you do. You can do your checklist based on the case studies you do, right? You can do your checklist based on the results you get. So so these are all the ways that you can use in order to make PLR your own. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video.